Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. And we are zooming in and focusing in today on a great viewer question, and that is, how do I get my life back? How do I return to normal after experiencing this relationship? They feel that this is with a covert narcissist. They've been enduring this for 6 years. And they're wondering, how do they get their life back? You know, they're so down, devastated, beating themselves up. So I think that's a great viewer question. And we're really going to zoom in and focus in on how to get your power back, how to live large once again after you have experienced perhaps or endured a relationship that has caused you struggle, heartache, paranoia, someone who is narcissistic, psychopathic, someone who has pulled the wool over your eyes, who has strung you along, someone who has manipulated you and had some pathological aspects, you know, withholding of information, withholding of communication, withholding of affection, things that left you basically starving for attention. And you're wondering kind of how to get back on your emotional feet. So I think that's a wonderful question. But before we get started, I want to give a super huge shout out to those of you who have recently donated to the channel. Thank you so much for your support and keeping the channel alive here. It's wonderful to hear from you, and it's so good to know that we're hitting home and providing a resource and a forum and a community for you to open up and understand not only, you know, a common ground with people, but to get validation and understanding of what you've endured and to understand that things can change. So thank you so much. It's inspiring to hear from you, and it helps me to keep coming back and providing this content. So thank you once again. And absolutely positively, if you would like to participate at the Peace and Harmony channel, please do feel free to make a donation at the PayPal Donate Now button right here on YouTube. It would be wonderful to hear from you. And so let's go. You know, when it comes to regaining your life and getting your life back, feeling like you're happy again, you're charged up, you're juiced up, like this, viewer stated it was the most wonderful feeling to feel in love. That is so very true. Oftentimes it's that feeling that gets people up in the morning. It's what helps them to take care of themselves. It's what motivates them. It's the core and the center of their life. It makes the world go round. It makes their day go round. It makes their hour go round. It makes things happen. They feel good, excited. They smile for no reason, especially in the beginning, in the love bombing stage. If you're in a relationship with someone who is narcissistic or psychopathic, undoubtedly there's going to be this love bombing phase or this euphoria phase where things just seem to be like, wow, this person is the answer to my prayers. This is my knight in shining armor. Could it get any better? This is my beauty, the most beautiful woman in the world, so kind, considerate, affectionate. As men would say, they're so sexy, or they're so, they had me in their clenches. I was just overwhelmed. I was ecstatic. I was enamored. I was on cloud 67, So there's this euphoria feeling in the beginning of the relationship. And oftentimes people are just elated. I mean, they are just on, all those neurochemicals, not to just make a science of it. It's an art as well that these people will love bomb the people who they are targeting or scoping for this sort of supply. But they're basically, putting forth an illusion. They're putting forth a presented persona with which you fall in love with. In other words, what you fell in love with was not the real thing. The real thing, Coca-Cola. It was not that. And, the narcissist and the psychopath, that's how they get through their day, their life, is they put forth this persona or image. They're basically, it's very deliberate, and, in the state of the psychopath, it's very calculated. It's very deliberate and calculated and designed, custom to the individual whom they're targeting to tell them everything that they want to hear. They don't feel this genuinely, even though you believe them more than perhaps you believed your family, your friends, whomever. You believe them more than anybody. There's this feeling of undying trust, this feeling of, everything, nothing else matters, just this person. It's you and me against the world. Our dinners are so romantic. The walks that they take me on, the things that they say, the things that they make me feel. There's this euphoria, like they're on just this sort of drug, and oftentimes this is the setting up of that illusion. So it's to understand that, yes, even with other relationships, things can get hard. You've got decisions to make, tough calls, tough decisions. But the issue with someone who is narcissistic, psychopathic, or has engaged in sort of a gaslighting or brainwashing of you is the problem is that the persona is designed to fool and deceive. What you get is not what you get. What you see is not what you get. What you get is someone who is trying to basically keep you as a supply or to prop up what is called as narcissistic supply. In other words, it's all about them as you progress on in the relationship. It becomes all about what is best for them, all what is their opinion, all what they're like the center there. Everything else begins to pivot around them, especially when you find that they're not there for you in specific times of need. If you're sick, you lose your job, you lose your income, you go through life changes, you get into an accident, your job is no longer, things start to get real, for sickness and in health. But the problem is oftentimes it's only for the good times that the narcissist is, or the psychopath is going to be there. And then pretty soon you find out that they're withholding information. You're no longer going on dates. They're withdrawing their support. Things aren't as good as it used to be. In fact, then you begin to enter into the devaluing and basically, the upheaval stage, that uproar stage where you become very angry, very testy, wanting to duke it out with them. You begin to have yelling matches, etc. Quiet, the cold treatment, the silent treatment. They're very cold or callous, and they've then become into someone who you don't recognize anymore, who you don't know. And you're like, what just happened? It's very confusing and very daunting when you enter into this stage. And it's at this stage that people then begin to erode their self-confidence, erode trust in themselves, erode trust in life. They feel that they don't know, what is really best for them anymore. They don't know who they are anymore. They're kind of so far off track, and they're trying to either maintain the relationship or trying to help this person. There's this, especially people with empathy, they end up trying to compensate, but then trying to help this person. What's wrong? Why are you so angry? Why are you so distant? Am I not, cooking enough? Am I not pretty enough? Am I not handsome enough? All these sort of questions come up, and then there's this negotiating between the two of you. And, when they basically what's known as exposing the relationship. In other words, you're putting two and two together, and for 2 and 2 doesn't equal 4, 2 and 2 equals 0. And you're realizing that this relationship ain't gonna work. You've either discovered something about them, you've found that they're not really there, especially they're not meeting your expectations, your needs. They're not a good match anymore, specifically as it's contradictory to the way the relationship was in the beginning. So there's this feeling of, what I call anticlimactic. People enter a lot of depression, a lot of fatigue, a lot of fear, especially in relationships with the psychopath where they've been sort of really brainwashed and gaslighted and had their minds and their value system played with. It's entered into this sort of torture, dismay, feeling of despair. It can get very, very low. People can't operate anymore. It's very difficult. You don't feel like yourself. You don't feel like anything is worth doing. You might lose your appetite, or you're not able to sleep, or all your natural circadian rhythms are thrown out of whack, and you don't feel like yourself anymore. How do you get yourself back? How do you live large again? How do you recuperate, and how do you get sort of, through that stage where you're feeling not only normal, but you're feeling happy again. You're feeling like you've landed on your feet. You're feeling like, life is your oyster again, and getting kind of your juice back, your enthusiasm, your passion. Well, realize you have to go through what M. Scott Peck in The Road Less Traveled, and he also wrote a great book called People of the Lie. There is such a thing as legitimate suffering. Legitimate suffering. It's a very important concept. If you've never read M. Scott Peck, I would highly recommend you get his book, The Road Less Traveled, as well as People of the Lie. He begins the book with life is difficult. Okay, so that being a given, you have to understand and really swallow that pill, and what I call basically eat some humble pie. Not everything is always going to be easy street. So there are some times when you have to go through what is known as legitimate suffering. In other words, I really need to feel the pain of this loss. I really need to be there in my feelings. I am down. I am depressed. I'm feeling a tremendous sense of loss and grief. And I'm going to have to go through, oftentimes, the stages of grief to get back to landing on my feet, to feeling like I've got my life back, my juice back, my happiness, my passion, and I can go on and live, and skip through the tulips, skip to hurrah, whatever it is you want to do, root for your favorite team, watch sports again, go to church again, go out to dinner again. There's this feeling of oftentimes paralysis that can come, which makes you feel like you're not really yourself anymore. Once again, it's this anticlimactic, really sort of, deflated feeling. And, if you can understand and relate to this, amen. That is, sometimes you need to be in that deep rest, that depression stage. Your body is kind of trying to shut down to get you to listen and pay attention to your best friend, i.e. your own heart. Following your heart here and saying, and having some compassion and empathy for yourself. And what I call basically being there for yourself, being empathetic to yourself, love bombing yourself, but in the real sense, being there to say, whoa, I have been through this traumatic realization. I've exposed this. I see, the truth now. And I know, and I'm going to have trust that the truth will set me free. And so that is going to be my ally. No longer believing in the illusion, the matrix, the persona, the facade, the pretty lies, the handsome lies, that love bombing. I'm not going to believe that anymore. I'm going to embrace the truth, and I'm going to embrace my truth, and furthermore, have a deep connection with myself right now. And say, wow, that was a real wake-up call. I have to heed the message from this relationship. So the relationship oftentimes has an extremely valuable and important lesson for you to learn. There's a great saying, college is expensive, but, ignorance is more costly. There's a statement like that, learning takes time, but ignorance is more expensive, or something like that. So in other words, it'll cost you more emotionally. It'll take more of a toll on you emotionally if you don't learn the lessons that were generated from that relationship, and kind of keep track of that and see life through your own heart, your own eyes, and not as you basically stand in judgment according to the judgment in the illusion of this other person. So you need to, excuse me, it's very important that you, we go raw here, we go live. It's very important that you dismiss sort of that illusion as what was going to be your saving grace, and begin to embrace the lessons that you have generated from this relationship. In a very important area and very important subject and space in your recovery journal is the lessons learned. I really believe it's very, very important. It'll save you a lot of time, grief, and emotional waffling around and floundering. If you write down lessons learned, so you can do this in your recovery notebook. Once again, you get an 8.5 by 11 notebook. This is your recovery journal. And I know we have a lot of viewers who are asking, to really expound on a lot of the subjects and contents of that. Not only is that coming out in my book, but I also will take up, the channel time to be able to relay that to you. So thank you for your inquiries. But you need to write down to get your life back and get enthusiastic again and get happy, because this will happen. You will be, you will be able to connect with your heart and your own values once again, even for people who have been through relationships that have been plagued by psychopaths, where it feels like everything is doom and gloom and everything is despair and dismal and gloom. Things will get better. You got to hang in there. It does take time. And one of the things that can really help you to focus on is following your heart. And don't be, ashamed. Don't be shy. Don't try to censor yourself. Don't try to stop and block, oh no, it was all about them, No, you need to kind of, eat some humble pie here, and then write down on the top of your piece of paper, lessons learned. Lessons learned, and then write down 1 through 20, or 1 through 30, or 1 through 50, and go at it. No matter how superfluous, silly, strange, you wouldn't want anybody to see. This is for your eyes only. Your recovery journal is for your eyes only. It's for you and your heart, and you and your own solace, your own foundation, your new realignment and reconnection and re-embracing and re-relating with yourself is what you are going to develop. And you'll realize you have a very strong ally within you. You have a very strong emotional GPS within you. You have a very strong intuition, guys, also within you. You've got millions and millions of neurons in your gut. Everyone thinks, oh, it's in your brain. These studies have been shown. You can research it, but there are millions of neurons, meaning brain, what you would call nerve endings in your gut. So like when you say, I have a gut feeling, I feel that there's something wrong with this, that's actually a very, very valid place within your body, within the solar plexus, which is like, right where your belly button is, so to speak. It's your gut. I have a gut feeling, and you oftentimes had to override this in order to maintain and supply the narcissist or the psychopath, either to help them, be there for them, wait for them. I'm going to wait another year, another 6 months. Maybe it'll get better. We'll hang in there. Maybe this holiday. These are excuses. You need to be stronger than your excuses. I'm going to say it again. In fact, you might want to write this down and put it on the cover of your recovery book journal, or in your bathroom, or on your refrigerator. You need to be stronger than your excuses. Okay, but once again, writing down the lessons learned without censoring it, without going, whoa, that's too silly, that's too stupid, oh my God, I can't bear to hear that. This is for you. This is in the privacy of this video, the privacy of your heart. That is what's going to set you free and help you to feel more like yourself again. Feel bubbly, enthusiastic, happy again. To be able to relate to people in a way where you feel secure, self-esteem, valuing yourself. Not because of something superficial, oh, I like your shoes, or, something genuine and real within. It's the real thing, a real heart, a real sort of divine connection, infinite intelligence, where you're kind of part of the great plan and the great scheme of things. You're right where you're supposed to be, right where your feet and heart are right now, in focus. So when you write down lessons learned and just, write them, no matter how silly, you'll realize, and once you look at this, you'll go, wow, I really did know what was going on, but I didn't heed the message. I really did have an inkling, but I just ignored it. I really did need to do this for myself, yet I put them first. I did without. I sacrificed too much. So these are your own lessons. These are what is in the storehouse and the treasure within you. And it is these that you need to unearth and get out and dust off and brush off like a treasure map. And going, here is my own personal chart to the Holy Land, to the good life, to what I want, to the real me, who I'm supposed to be, living my purpose, living my passion, having relationships, being happy again, not feeling so low, not feeling so lonely, not feeling so isolated. And so once you write those down, you'll realize some very valuable things about yourself, and you will surprise yourself and you'll go, OMG, this is shocking. I didn't know that I knew this. I'm smarter than I thought. I'm smarter than the narcissist gave me credit for. I'm stronger than the psychopath ever thought I was. I'm bigger, better, bolder than all of this. OMG. OMG, you'll have a many OMG moments when you begin to do this and work on your recovery journal. And, you know, not only that, there are so many aspects of the recovery journal. This is just one of the tools. But to get yourself back, you know, begin to ask yourself these open-ended questions. I'm a firm believer. You know, if I wasn't so fearful after this relationship, I would really love to. And then write down 1 through 30 and just spill it all out. I would really love to join a gym. I would really love to have a career. I'd really love to join the Red Cross. I would really love to go to church. I would really love to go out for lunch. I'd really like to start juicing. I'd really like to invent a new product. I'd really like to become an architect. I would really like to. I would really love to. If I didn't have so much fear holding me back, if fear wasn't really an issue, I would really love to. These are the type of questions that I discuss in the book that I'm writing that can help you to unearth your truth, despite the manipulations that you've been under, despite the manipulative, abusive relationships, despite all the slander that has been told to you, despite all the sneers, the physical abuse, the emotional neglect, the, withholding of information, whatever it is that has made you feel in this very anticlimactic, you can release that, but you have to go through the legitimate suffering. You need to kind of face some of these things, and it's not going to take you, the next 5 years. You can do this relatively quickly, and you will begin to pick up steam and momentum as you do this. And, if I wasn't, feeling so defeated, I would really love to have. And beginning, and then write 1 through 30, and begin to get to know yourself. Once again, it is getting to become reacquainted with yourself, reacquainted with your values, reacquainted with the truth, reacquainted with the good and strength of you, reacquainted with your own talents, and reacquainted with your own interests, and then taking action. You need to follow through. You need to follow up. You need to do the do. You need to do the recovery date. A lot of people, well, what is the recovery date? It's when, when you ask yourself these questions, if I wasn't so fearful or so low, I would really love to. Go to the mall and walk 4 miles. Do this, go to this store, go to this church. Taking things from that list and then plugging them into your appointment book. You must absolutely positively have an appointment book. I don't care if you don't have a job or if you have a job, you live on a different time zone or not. You need to get yourself an appointment book. We're in the beginning throes of 2019. Go to Amazon and get yourself an appointment book. There's some wonderful ones by I think it's called Brush Dance. Excuse me. This one is Go Everywhere with 1,000 Voices Singing. This is by Brush Dance, brushdance.com. This is an example of an appointment book. This is one of the blank ones I use for demonstration. But this is an example of what the inside looks like. And you can write this down. You can carry this in your purse, your backpack. They've got some other really nice ones. You can go to Amazon. They have these for like half off. Brushdance.com. They've got their 800 number, 800-531-7445. You can call them. Hopefully they still have these in stock for you. But, you know, taking yourself out, releasing your fears, you know, facing the facts, facing the truth, concentrating on the lessons learned, seeing all these aha moments, and following up. You have to take radical action. You have to, and then the recovery pages, which I highly recommend in your notebook, is that you sit down every day, getting up maybe 45 or an hour early, and writing down 3 longhand pages, just whatever comes. It's too cold in here. It's too hot. I hate my bedroom. I want to repaint this. I want to get a pet. I can't believe this person. I can't believe. Just writing down whatever comes to mind. It's basically like a brain purge. You're able to get it out on the paper. It'll help to release a lot of anxiety, and you'll have a go-to place, i.e. your notebook, to go to, and then have this continuity of communication with your own heart space. That's where a ton of your energy is in your heart. So you need to come out of your mind and come into your heart. Go out of, you know, stop analyzing why this person, you know, oftentimes you're asking the wrong questions, and it's going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you in the same, you know, struggle zone for years. We have viewers who have been stuck on this for decades. You know, don't let another day go by. Come out of your head into your heart, and come into, and then also what I talk about in the book that I'm writing is your senses. Resensitize yourself and begin to prime your subconscious with healing images, sounds, scents, tastes. Go through your kitchen, throw out all the junk, all the stuff that's making you feel groggy, sluggish, you know, the processed foods, the sugars. Oh, I'm going to medicate myself with, you know, this, you know, 3 frozen pies that I'm going to eat in one sitting. You know, stop self-medicating with the sugar, with the alcohol. You know, these are not doing you any good. In fact, you know, your blood can go through this up and down motion, which isn't helping you anything. Begin to fill your refrigerator and your cabinets with fresh fruits and vegetables and healthy, clean eating. You know, if you eat meat, you know, clean meats. You know, get away from a lot of the carbs, because that oftentimes keeps your mind in kind of a groggy state. But know your own body chemistry best. Begin to eat and learn and discover and experiment with what brings you more well-being. Resensitize yourself. Begin to comfort your senses. You know, getting soft and comfortable clothing. You know, getting rid of a lot of the clothing that you had to wear, you know, dress to impress, or that, you know, you were on this whole track with this individual. You know, get back to the real you. I would really love to, and then fill in that, you know, those on your recovery journal, and then begin to follow up. Do these things, even if you have to kind of force yourself. Oh, this feels kind of silly. Excellent. Good for you. You've made the first step, and that's what you have to do. And you will begin to feel more like yourself again. You know, hold your head up. Look around at life. Get the big picture. Stop focusing on the problem. Focus on the solution, and focus on what is good for you, not for the manipulator. You know, don't give in to all those thoughts and hover attempts. Begin to kind of, you know, bring yourself away, just like you were driving a car that had to kind of bypass a pothole. Begin to direct your emotions in the same way. Not going to go into that room and lay down. That's just going to make me depressed. I've been laying down for 18 hours straight. I'm going to get bed sores and I'm only 25. Let's do this. And then move yourself in the direction of your heart. And you will find that, you know, that life will rise up to meet you when you take that challenge. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. And I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.